Well, good morning. Welcome to All Staff Day 2021. As near as I can tell, today is the 309th day of March. So we say welcome. I'm going to take my mask off. We are outside today, socially distanced, to provide you a little preview and say thanks for what's been going on. We've chosen this position on purpose. Right behind me is the brand new Fine Arts Complex that is about 10% complete at this point. It's going to be a great monument for our campus, and it's going to be a tremendous teaching facility, and we're looking forward to the day that is up and running. Other things that are happening on campus, if you were here today, behind me, behind Building S, our neighbors are being vaccinated by Santa Barbara County with the help of our staff. We'll have about 500 people today, and then starting next week, twice a week, we'll have 600 to 700 people being vaccinated. We're changing the odds for our community that way. If you went on the other side of the Student Center, you would see the student government and student ambassadors doing our food share program. Food share for students today will have more than 100 students come through and pick up groceries for their families. And of course, yesterday and tomorrow, we'll have members of our community, anywhere from 600 to 900 members of our community each day coming through to get food from our community, for our community. This is, at this point, our students and staff and volunteers have placed grocery bags in more than 54,000 cars, representing more than 220,000 community members here in northern Santa Barbara County, here and in Lompoc and in Santa Ynez. It's truly a remarkable thing that we're doing to really change the odds for our community. And we've done a lot of stuff on campus too. We can look around campus and see some of the innovative teaching modalities that our faculty have come up with. On Fridays we have the Making the Move trainings that help you do a better job of teaching ERT classes. Our classified staff have been setting up book loaning and laptop lending, and you can see all over the campus as students are coming to pick up the equipment they're going to need to survive in an ERT program. So it's a crazy time, we all know that. We hope there's a light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccine. We want to have a great semester and have a great finish to our programs this year and help our students get on their way to their next destination. We can't do that without you. We can't do it without our staff, our faculty, our administrative team, our trustees. It's all of us together that have to get this done. The good news is we have a great team that's working on it, and we have a new team, new members to the team that are coming in either into new positions or new to the college. Mark Boer is here. He is going to welcome some of those folks, hopefully all of those folks, to the campus. And show you a picture of what each one of those new staff members look like. So, Mark, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Walters. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our new and promoted employees. And let's get started. In Business Services, Accounting Services Technician 2, Hannah Abuso. In Facilities, Custodian 2, Leopoldo Arredondo. CalSoap Fiscal Administrative Assistant, Rosa Cortez. Children's Center Teacher, Rosa de la Cruz. Title V Grant Coordinator, Maria Grando. Administrative Services Administrative Assistant 3, Erica Hernandez. Board of Trustees Trustee, Dr. Suzanne Levy. Foundation Administrative Assistant, Tracy McKee. Business Services Accounting Supervisor, Mark Norton. Facilities Groundkeepers 3, Joseph Plummer. Business Services Payroll Technician, Adriana Sahugan. Auxiliary Accounting, Cashier Technician, Kim Sampson. Admissions and Records Technician, Alyssa Stovall. And promoted staff in Facilities, Custodial Lead Worker, Francisco Ruiz. We look forward to the day when we could be together. Until then, I know we all give a warm and rousing welcome to these new members of the AHC community.
All right, thanks, Mark. We're truly excited for all of those folks that are joining us This is truly an important part of our community. There's no more important organization in our community than Allen Hancock College when it comes to making a difference for the future. I want to look back over what we've done this year. There's been a lot of work going on, even though we've been doing almost all of it remotely. Starting with just this past Tuesday, the board approved the Educational Master Plan that we started last February. If you think all the way back to February, we actually all were in a room together, standing close to each other, talking, having coffee, eating pastries. It was like a whole different planet back then. But we started with that with that important meeting set up by our team in institutional effectiveness and led by faculty and administrative and staff facilitators. That turned into a brand new educational master plan that really highlights the journey that our students are on. We're really focusing on how do we get students to complete. And it also focuses on how do we do it in a way that promotes equity and diversity in our campus. We know that equity and diversity is a cornerstone of what we do. However, the events of this summer showed us, we have to be better. We have to do better, and we are doing better. And I'm very proud of the work that we did in the Educational Master Plan, developing a new mission and vision statement, and setting up a diversity, equity, inclusion task force that completed a very robust report that was presented to the board in December and will start its work again this coming spring. We're looking forward to the work you come from there. I also wanted to go over a couple of things that were promises made, and we want to make sure that everybody remembers their promises kept. Starting with the climate survey that we did, I think it's been 2 years ago now when the climate survey was done, and we came to you and talked about here's some new things that we're going to do, most of them around campus communication. We've bolstered the News to Know so that it's a little more robust. We've expanded the community news that should be in your mailbox right now. If you live in Santa Barbara County, you should have gotten a copy of the community news in your mailbox. I got mine. My neighbors are always excited when it shows up, and they wave at me and show me that they got it. We've posted on my website links to both of those. You can go look at the President's website, and there's a whole section there on communication. It also includes the monthly columns that we write for the Santa Maria Times and the Lompoc Record. The first Sunday of every month, the Times and Record are kind enough to publish something about what's going on at the college or how national policy impacts the college. And I'm sure as we see a new administration coming in next week, we're going to have a lot to talk about how the new changes to financial aid and support for students is going to impact Allen Hancock College students. The weekly board updates are there. Every week I just send an update to the board that lets them know the things you're doing. I hope you're taking time to check that out and look on there and see some of the things that your colleagues are doing, things that you can share in the community. We've done the college forums. We kind of lost those a little bit during the pandemic, but we're going to bring the college forums back on a monthly basis. And we have a couple of new things that we're going to roll out right now. So starting this week, you can check out the Allen Hancock College podcast called Hancock Conversations, where I have the good fortune to be able to speak to members of our community, members of our campus, former students about their experiences at Hancock College and the things that were important to them and how Hancock College has impacted their lives. Our first episode is up right now. It's with Trustee Hilda Zacharias, talking about her journey from Hancock student to being a member of the Board of Trustees. I hope you'll listen in on that and enjoy what Trustee Zacharias has to say. We are also launching a new program, and while everyone is invited to this is really going to be for our CSEA. It's targeted for our CSEA staff members. We have a new educational master plan, and we've committed to the board that this is not a document that's going to be posted online and we're going to forget about it. We need an action plan to go with the education master plan. We are going to, on First Fridays, we're going to start having, the first Friday of every month, we are going to start having a special training program targeted to CSEA members so that they can learn how their contributions can impact our education master plan, our recruiting efforts, anything that might be going on campus that you can contribute to. It'll be a great opportunity for all of us to come together and have a conversation. And by starting off with that educational master plan, we can talk about what it is that's so important in that plan that we need to implement to help our students. We have some new tasks this semester. That's going to include a conversation pretty quickly about what we're going to do in the fall. What's the modality of classes going to be in the fall? And hopefully the vaccines are working well and we can start to make plans for students to come back. We can see it in our enrollment. Our enrollment's down 12 or 13% right now over last spring. And we know the reason is the students are voting with their feet. For our students, access over the internet is not always an easy thing to get. Even if they can get the access, we can give them a hotspot, we can give them a laptop, but if they're living in a house that has 2 bedrooms and there's 6 or 7 people living in that house, there's no place to study, there's no place to listen to your classes. So we see our students really opting to wait until they can get back to face-to-face. We also have an opportunity this semester to look at the things that we're doing well in ERT and incorporate those in the future for distance learning. And to look at the things we're doing with our asynchronous distance learning that are successful and incorporate those as well. We're also going to be working on a more broad educational master plan action plan. That'll be part of the town hall planning retreat that we're going to have in February and March. And we'll be working, as always, on guided pathways. In fact, Antonio and Jenny will be along in a little while to talk to you a little bit about the progress we've made on guided pathways and what we're doing next. So still a lot to do, even though we're doing it sometimes wearing flannel pants. We're going to continue to get the work done for our students because we can't let a lost year turn into a lost generation. It's really critical that we're looking out for our students and for our community. So I wanted to just share a few thoughts, though, about what it means to be part of this college and part of this community. You hear us, people around campus saying change the odds. You see it on the new logo on the college webpage. And in fact, I want you to know that's going to be unique to the college. We've actually trademarked that phrase, changing the odds. No other college in California can steal that from us like they did with Start Here, Go Anywhere. We can still use the Start Here, Go Anywhere, but I'm really focused on how do we change the odds for our students, for our community. Judge Flores, who's a longtime judge and real activist in our community, told me back before the world stopped spinning. He said there's 2 important institutions in this community: Marion Hospital and Allen Hancock College. And I thought a lot about that and what he said and how important it is in the work that we do for the future. And when we look at the horrific events that happened last week, and we look at what happened on January 6th, and I sent an email about this that was really a message not just from me, but also from your entire cabinet team who weighed in on what that message should be to our campus. We really are democracy's college. I say that with pride. It's a phrase that goes all the way back to the Truman Commission in 1947, and George Boggs, who was the president of the American Association of Community Colleges and is the president emeritus from Palomar College here in California. He really brought that to light in 2010 with a paper he wrote, and if you go back and look at my email, there's a link to that paper. But we really expand democracy by providing access. Our community colleges have always been about access. From the early days, from the first community college in Illinois, we really talked about, taking the ability for people to get a higher education from just being wealthy and frankly white people up until the 1960s, and expanding that to everyone. And I take that mission seriously. And when we talk about changing the odds, we're talking about the same things that we talked about 8 years ago. In a couple of months, it'll be 8 years since I did my first interview here on campus. And I was asked at that time to give a presentation about All Staff Day, and that presentation is as relevant today as it was then, because we really talked about what are the factors for student success. And we talked about what does it mean for students to be here and complete their programs. So we started talking about how do students connect? How do we bring students together and think about the diversity of our campus? And think about how students, when you walk in our campus in normal times at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and students are still here like it was a four-year college. Students are still here interacting with each other. Students are here today passing out food. They'll be here tomorrow again passing out food. Our students are really the lifeblood of what we do, and they love being here. They love their faculty members. They love interacting with staff. They love being here, and we provide that connection point for people from a really diverse set of backgrounds to come in and learn from each other. We direct those students as well, right? We've taught them, imagine the skill set that our students who have been working on campus through the pandemic have developed, and how that is going to help them in their lives to understand what it means to work in difficult situations. The life skills that they're learning today will stay with them for the rest of their lives. And our sincere hope is that they stay in our community so that we get the benefit of those skills when they're adults. Our students are engaged, even in this pandemic. We have the Skills USA program is still going. Our student trustee, Anna Rosas, gave us a great presentation this week that she did for Skills USA. The MESA program, the STEM program, our student athletes, the Puente program, all of these programs are doing great things. And of course, we're still reaching out to help students succeed through programs like Bridges to Baccalaureate, or giving them the support they need through our EOPS, CARE, CalWORKS, Next Up programs. All of those things that we're doing to engage students and keep them involved in their student life during the most difficult time that's ever been to go to college. Those are things that change the odds for our students. The next student success factor was focus. And 8 years ago, we were averaging around 720, 730 graduates a year, unique graduates. Through your work, through your commitment to student completion, through some of the innovative things we've done on campus, that number this year was 1,300 students. Over 1,300 students graduated, and over the last 4 years, we're averaging somewhere close to 1,200 students per year getting a degree. And that degree is valuable in our community. Our educational master plan included a economic impact study, and that study showed that on average a student with a Hancock degree automatically gets $9,200 a year more in their wages. That's good for the student, it's good for us. And then think about that investment. As we start talking about policy for the future, and you start talking about how long does it take you to pay back the investment that you made in college. For many, many students who go to proprietary, for-profit, predatory colleges, it can be years, if ever, that they recover the cost of their tuition fees and books. For students at Allen Hancock College, it's less than 15 months. 15 months after you finish a 2-year degree at Hancock College, you recover your investment. That's truly remarkable. Our students are nurtured. Think about all of the new programs we have in just the last several years. We have a student emergency fund that we never had. We're helping students when they can't pay the rent, or they need to pay the light bill, or they need a book. We're helping them with that. We've expanded our lending program. Our lending library is fantastic. Our librarians have put in place an entire set of desk copies of every textbook that we have on campus. Imagine what that does for the student that says, I can't afford a $300 textbook, but I can go to the library and borrow it at the library and do my studying there. It's transformative. We have a basic needs program. We'll soon have a basic needs coordinator that will be managing all of the different programs we do to help students make sure that they can stay in housing or find housing, that they have access to all of the tools that they need. We've increased financial aid over the last several years. This year, we distributed $800,000 more in general financial aid, and for Pell Grants, $1.5 million increase for students getting Pell Grants. That's through the work of just getting students to finish their FAFSA, which, by the way, is going to be easier to do starting next year, when it goes from 108 questions, I think, down to 36 at the most. We are going to actually have more students getting more financial aid, and it's going to change their lives. And finally, our students are valued by you. think of the ways that you moved heaven and earth to make sure students were acknowledged this year. Back in August, we held a drive-through graduation for all of our students. We had staff and faculty out for hours and hours and hours in the sun, making sure that those students and their families had an opportunity to celebrate the victory of graduation. We've had several graduations down at our Public Safety Training Center where families were able to pull into the driveway. It's like driving graduation. They pull in and they sit right there in front of their cars and they watch their friends and family members go out into the real world of public service. Our nursing program had a similar drive-through graduation that was tremendous to watch. These are the kind of things that show our students how much value that we place in them. We're changing the odds for our community. And I couldn't be prouder to be part of this, and I couldn't be prouder of the work that we're doing to make sure that we have an educated society in the future. We can't have the events that happened last week continuing. We can't have them happen even one more time. We have to provide a structure where people learn how to think critically, and we teach that here, where they learn how to do research and investigate the scientific method. We do that here. We need to teach them how to interact with people who don't look like them. We do that right here at Hancock College. The work you do is so important for our community, so important for us to be able to have a conversation together, and for us to be able to say, the road that I took may not be as easy as the road my neighbor took. Or the road I took, maybe it was easier. And we need to recognize that some of us have an easier path to where we are today than others have had, and we need to remove those barriers. That's how you change the odds. It's great that we can celebrate students who overcome the odds. We need to change the odds for our community. We're going to change the odds by removing barriers across our entire community, across the neighborhoods, throughout Santa Maria, Lompoc, Guadalupe, San Ynez, Cuyama, in all of our service area. We can make this happen because I believe that the work you do is the most important social justice work that happens on the Central Coast. What you're doing every day is transformative, and in 10 years, when people look back at what happened in 2020 and what happened in 2021, they're going to say the people that were at Hancock College set the stage to make northern Santa Barbara County a better place to live. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the cabinet team and all of your administrative team, I want to say thank you for the work you're doing. I know it's been a long slog. I know everybody's tired of staring at screens. Please, please, please. It's just a few more months. We're going to come out of this on the other side. Engage with your colleagues, make a phone call, but really just participate and make sure that our students know that they are connected, directed, engaged, focused, nurtured, and valued. Thank you for all you're doing. We're going to have a great set of trainings coming up. We'll post the website for you at the end of this video. Good luck to you this semester, and thank you for all you're doing.